Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into a book today that I know a lot of you are already familiar with, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Seems like everyone's trying to figure out if joining this 5 a.m. club is the ticket to unlocking some next level productivity.
Yeah, it's funny. I have to admit, when I first heard the title, I thought, who in their right mind would want to wake up at 5 a.m.? But then I actually started reading it, and Sharma makes a pretty compelling case for why those early hours might be more powerful than we realize.
Yeah, he definitely makes you think twice about hitting that snooze button. So let's jump right in. The whole premise hinges on this idea that waking up at 5 a.m. can lead to extraordinary results in all areas of life.
And he uses this really engaging storytelling approach. He introduces us to these two characters, a struggling entrepreneur and an artist who's kind of lost their spark, and they both end up meeting this eccentric billionaire mentor.
Oh, I'm sensing a theme here. Billionaire, early riser. I think I know where this is going.
You got it. The billionaire credits his success to, guessed it, waking up at the crack of dawn.
Okay, so not exactly a groundbreaking revelation that successful people have early morning routines, but I'm guessing there's more to it than just early bird gets the worm.
Exactly. Sharma dives deep into the science behind why the 5 a.m. hour is so special. For one thing, he says it gives you a competitive edge because it's a time when most of the world is still asleep.
Yeah, fewer distractions for sure, although I'm not sure my inbox would agree with that. But I get what you're saying, that quiet time before the day's chaos hits.
It's like having a head start on the rest of the world. But it goes beyond just having extra time. He talks about this concept called transient hypofrontality.
Yeah.
Basically, at 5 a.m., your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for overthinking, is less active.
Hold on, less overthinking. That already sounds like a win in my book.
Right. And
Yeah.
to make things even better, your brain is actually producing more dopamine and serotonin at that time. Those are the feel-good hormones that help with motivation and focus.
So instead of dragging myself out of bed feeling groggy and uninspired, I could be tapping into this natural state of calm focus.
Precisely. It's like the perfect storm for achieving a flow state where you're super productive and creative.
Okay, flow state at 5 a.m., I'm starting to get the appeal. But Sharma doesn't just leave us hanging with this idea of waking up early. He actually gives us a framework for how to maximize that time.
Right. He introduces this concept called the four focuses of history makers.
And he pulls from all sorts of historical figures, right?
Yeah, like Mozart, Hemingway, people who are really regimented in how they structured their days.
And they all started their days super early.
Exactly. They knew the power of that quiet time, before the rest of the world was up.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are these four focuses, and how can we apply them to our own lives, even if we're not, musical geniuses or literary giants?
Well, the first focus is all about capitalizing on your talents. And this doesn't mean you have to be naturally gifted, right?
Right. It's more about honing your craft.
Exactly. Sharma talks about how dedication beats raw talent every single time. Like, think about athletes who practice that same shot over and over and over again.
It's about putting in the reps.
Exactly. And when you think about it, that dedication, that focus on practicing your craft, it ties back to what we were talking about with flow state.
Because to really get into that flow state, to really maximize your talents, you need to be free from distractions, which, conveniently, is Sharma's second focus.
It's like he planned that.
Right. But it makes sense. It's hard to be productive when you're constantly being interrupted by notifications, emails, social media.
Especially in today's world where it's like we're constantly bombarded with information.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the first to admit I'm guilty of scrolling through my phone before I'm even fully awake. Okay, so we've got capitalizing on your talents and freedom from distraction. What's next?
Focus number 3 is day stacking.
Day stacking. Okay, I've never heard that one before.
It's this idea that even small, seemingly insignificant actions, when done consistently over time, can lead to massive results.
I like that. It's not about making some huge, drastic change overnight. It's about those small daily actions that add up over time.
Exactly. Like, think of it like building a brick wall. Each brick might seem small and insignificant on its own, but when you stack them all together, you end up with something strong and impressive.
I love that analogy.
It's all about consistency. You don't have to try to do everything at once. Just focus on making small, incremental progress each day.
This reminds me of when I first started meditating. I could only do like 5 minutes a day, and I thought, this is never going to work.
But you stuck with it.
I did. And after a few months, I actually started to notice a difference. I was calmer, less reactive, more focused. It really is amazing how those small actions can add up. Okay, so 3 focuses down, 1 to go. What's the final piece of the puzzle?
The fourth focus is personal mastery practice, basically dedicating time each day to your own personal growth.
So things like reading, learning new skills, working on your mindset.
Exactly. Sharma's a big believer in lifelong learning. He specifically mentions things like studying biographies, reading about psychology, and engaging with ideas that challenge your thinking.
Okay, so expanding your knowledge, broadening your horizons. It sounds like he's advocating for a very well-rounded approach to personal development.
He is. He talks about cultivating your four interior empires: mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set.
Okay, so it's not enough to just be really productive at work. You also need to be tending to your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Exactly. It's about becoming the best version of yourself in all areas of your life. And he believes that dedicating even a small amount of time each day to personal growth can make a world of difference.
I love that. So we've got this framework for maximizing our mornings, capitalizing on our talents, minimizing distractions, focusing on consistent action, and dedicating time to personal growth. It's pretty comprehensive, but I have to ask, how do we actually put all of this into practice? It's one thing to say, wake up at 5 a.m. and conquer the world, but it's another thing to actually do it consistently. Does Shama offer any practical advice on how to implement this 5 a.m. routine? So how do we actually put all of this into practice? It's one thing to say, wake up at 5 a.m. and conquer the world, but it's another thing to actually do it consistently. Does Sharma offer any practical advice on how to implement this 5 a.m. routine?
He does. He calls it the 20-20-20
The
formula.
20-20-20 formula.
Yeah, it's like a structured plan for how to use that first hour you're waking up at 5 a.m.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
So each 20-minute block is dedicated to a different activity.
Hmm.
And they're all designed to optimize different aspects of your well-being.
All right, so no more hitting the snooze button. What's the first 20 minutes all about?
The first 20 minutes are for move.
Move, as in like a leisurely stroll around the neighborhood.
Oh no, Sharma means like intense exercise.
Intense at 5 a.m. Oof, that's a tough one. I'm not exactly a morning person, but I'm guessing there's a reason why he recommends starting the day with a workout.
Definitely. He talks about how exercise, especially vigorous exercise, actually helps to reduce cortisol.
Cortisol, that's the stress hormone, right?
Exactly. So not only are you getting your blood pumping, you're also setting yourself up for a calmer, more focused day.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. So less stress, more focus, what else?
Well, exercise also increases something called BDNF.
BDNF, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's basically a protein that's essential for brain health. It's like fertilizer for your brain cells.
So that morning workout is literally making you smarter. I like the sound of that. All right, what about the next 20 minutes? What's on the agenda for that block?
The next 20 minutes are for reflect.
Reflect. Okay, so we're talking about things like meditation, journaling, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's about taking some time for yourself to connect with your thoughts and feelings before the day's demands take over.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really grounding, especially if you're starting your day with a super intense workout. It's like giving your mind and body a chance to reset before diving into the day. Okay, so we've got move and reflect. What's the final 20 minutes of this power hour?
The last 20 minutes are for grow.
Grow. So this is where we get into that personal development stuff we were talking about earlier.
You got it. This is the time to dive into those biographies, learn a new language, listen to a podcast, whatever you're into.
It's about making learning a non-negotiable part of your day, not just squeezing it in when you have a few spare minutes.
Right. It's about prioritizing your growth.
This 20-20-20 formula, it's actually pretty brilliant. It's a holistic approach to maximizing your morning. But I have to be honest, thinking about maintaining this level of intensity every single day, it's a little intimidating.
Well, and Sharma addresses that. He talks about the importance of balance. He introduces this concept called the twin cycle of elite performance.
Twin cycle of elite performance, what is that?
It's basically the idea that you need to balance periods of intense work with periods of deliberate rest and rejuvenation.
So it's not about going full throttle all the time.
Exactly. It's about finding a sustainable rhythm that allows you to show up as your best self consistently.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. Because as much as I love the idea of a structured morning routine, I also really value my sleep.
And you should. Sharma talks about how important sleep is, and he even includes tips for improving your sleep quality. Things like reducing blue light exposure before bed and creating a relaxing bedtime routine. He ties this back to the four interior empires, emphasizing that taking care of your physical health, including sleep, is crucial for overall well-being.
So it's all connected. You can't just focus on productivity and neglect everything else. It's about finding that balance, that harmony between all aspects of your life.
Absolutely. It's about creating a life that feels both productive and fulfilling.
I think that's a great note to end on. The 5 a.m. Club isn't just about waking up early, it's about designing a life that allows you to thrive.
It's about taking control of your time and energy so that you can show up as the best version of yourself in all areas of your life.
Well said. So, to all of our listeners out there, whether you're ready to fully embrace the 5 a.m. life or you're just looking for some inspiration to up your productivity game, the 5 a.m. Club offers a lot of valuable insights.
It definitely gives you a lot to think about.
It does. So, until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep striving to unlock your full potential.
And maybe we'll see you on the other side of that sunrise.